Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to today's video. So love, today we are going to be reacting on the differences between Norway and Sweden. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, leaving your beautiful comment. I literally appreciate. I know that Norway and Sweden, they share border. Yeah, they share border. Yeah, so this is Norway, this is Sweden, this is Finland. So they all share borders, but Norway and Sweden are close. So I'm here to react on the differences. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. If you are new to the channel, please like the video, share it, leave your beautiful comment, and subscribe as well. So guys, let's get started.
Facts, I'm going to take the country of Sweden and the country of Norway and put them side by side and see what is different about these two different nations. Because although the two have had a history together, and although they are both classified as Nordic and Scandinavian countries, they do have certain aspects about their country that makes them completely different. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Dave Wapple here, and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where I look at people, cultures, places, and sometimes militaries from all around the world. Yeah, I'm talking really fast, but we're just gonna do it today. Because today, I'm so happy I get to talk about Sweden again, and I get to talk about Norway. And for those of you guys who are here watching the stuff on the channel, you know I love talking about European countries. I just love learning about different countries, period. But Sweden is one of my favorite places. Firstly, due to the fact that the women in Sweden are, oh yeah, heaven's door can only knock fast enough. I don't know what that means, but I felt that way when I thought of Swedish women. So we're going to get started right into the facts, but I just want to let you know one of the first, similarities about these two countries is they both have a Viking culture. And with that in mind, because, well, I'm doing a video on Sweden and I'm doing a video on Norway and all the Vikings, I felt it appropriate to let you guys know about a really cool game that is sponsoring this video. And this is a browser game called Vikings War of Clans. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to play this, but for me, kind of just been playing it for the last couple of days, and I gotta say, it's really addictive. It's so addictive. So one thing that I like about this over your other PC browser games is it's got a lot of social features. It's got pretty good graphics as well. Interesting fact they actually told me about this is they actually have more people playing this than there were Vikings in the entire history of Vikings, like population-wise. Yeah. But it's cool because you can play with gamers from all around the world, and you can join clans, work together, or you can turn on your own foes and just, be Vikings and, conquer the world. And one of the best things about this game, and this is my personal fave, is it is free to play. I'm not lying. Head down there in the description box below, check it out. When you guys do that, you guys get access to 200 gold coins and a special item which is called a novice relocation. It's going to be really beneficial when you start off. So for all you true Vikings out there, you Norwegians and you Swedes, you know what I'm talking about. Trust me, you want to play this game. It's really fun. But nonetheless, let's get started with the video. Okay, cool. Let's rock and roll. Vikings out. So as we start, I want to clear something out because I got really confused in my last video where I looked at Denmark and Germany, and the reason I'm talking about that is because it's related to this video, because Sweden and Norway are also considered Nordic countries, Scandinavian countries, and European countries. That's 3 different classifications, and it confused the living daylights out of me. And for some of you guys who are pondering the same, why do they have 3 different titles? Well, here's the reason why. I know you're wondering, what is the differences? I'm going to get into that. Just chill for a sec. Basically, in the term of Scandinavia, it's used for countries like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland. But for the term Nordic, it's used for all the Scandinavian countries, plus Greenland and the Faroe Islands and all that jazz. And of course, the thing is, because these countries are somewhat joined with Europe, they are classified as European countries as well. Now, what's the difference? Here we go. Because for Sweden, it is a country of the Scandinavian countries that is part of the European Union. And as a matter of fact, Norway, I was shocked to know this, is actually not. So you may be wondering, why is Norway not a part of the European Union? Well, it's not like they haven't had the opportunity. They've thought about it twice in history. And as a matter of fact, these 2 particular times were in 1972 and 1994. And of course, the European Union is meant to strengthen Europe as a whole. However, there's another program that's meant to do that, and that is called NATO. And another major difference is that Norway is a part of NATO, and Sweden is not. However, that doesn't mean that Sweden's like, yo, screw you, NATO. I ain't taking part in any of your things. No, not happening. Although Sweden is not classified as a NATO member, it does partake in a lot of exercises and operations that NATO is a part of. So just so you know, Sweden actually cooperates with NATO and a lot of the European countries as well, so it's not just kind of on its own saying, screw you, everybody. Now, moving right along, let's take a look at population, because these two countries differ quite a bit. Sweden has a population of 10,250,000.
I never knew that Sweden and Norway is Viking, like they have Viking history. Now I know. And I'm loving the way he's explaining that game he did. It looks awesome to play. If it looks awesome to play anyways. This is pretty interesting. Okay, so Sweden is not in NATO but is under European Union. Then Norway is in NATO but not under European Union. All right, so I have gotten a little bit of history now. Like, I love learning new things about new nations, and I've done a reaction about Sweden. I have a playlist, you can do it to check it out. I also have a playlist about Norway as well, you can do it to check it out. So this is pretty interesting. I hope you're enjoying it. If you watched this extent, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep on watching.
15,250 people. Norway, however, has a population of almost half of that, with 5,323,933 people. One also minor difference between these two countries is the amount of times the census has been taken. Sweden recently did theirs in 2018, and Norway hasn't done one since about 2011. And as a matter of fact, the number that I just gave you is based off of a 2018 estimate. But among all these people, one really fascinating difference between these two is language. However, similarity between these two countries is that their main languages is named around the type of people that are living within the country. For example, you got the Norwegians that speak Norwegian, and you got the Swedes that speak Swedish. However, one major difference is that Sweden also has a main official language that is in another country. And that example is the Swedish language is one of the official languages of Finland. And as a matter of fact, in some military groups, I think the Jaeger Corps, they actually use Sweden as their training tongue. It's pretty interesting. But however, if we're going to give points to Norway, we got to mention the fact that Norway has 2 official languages, where Sweden only has 1. And the second language in Norway besides Norwegian is the Sami language. Okay. Of course, the Sami language is also in Sweden. However, it is an officially recognized language, not an official language. There is a little bit of a difference there. It's all about titling, guys. That's how it works. Speaking about people, let's dive, boom, splash, doodle-doo, into religion. So for both of these countries, we do have to acknowledge the fact that state and religion are officially separated. However, there is a difference between how the church still affects the state today. For example, Sweden actually on January 1st of 2000 decided that the state and the church should be separated, but in today's world, the Church of Sweden is still a major influencer, and actually the royal family still has to confess a Lutheran faith, and therefore because of that, some people say that it is still in the government in some shape or form. However, for Norway, things didn't really happen until May 21st of 2012, when the Church of Norway was granted autonomy. And before that, officials of parliament were required to be members of the Evangelical Lutheran Church. However, as of January 1st of 2017, the church was made independent from the state. And similar to Sweden, they do say that there are still some remaining church elements that are in the government. It's just hard to identify what. Moving right along, let's get away from people and all that. Let's talk about UNESCO zones. They got a lot of them. World Heritage Sites. I love them. Norway has approximately 8 in total, with one of them being a natural UNESCO zone. Sweden, however, has 15 of them, one being natural and one being mixed with natural and cultural aspects. And in Sweden, one major one I want to mention is the Ingelsberg Ironworks, which was built in 1681 and is the oldest, most well-preserved Swedish ironworks that helped develop the modern world of ironworking. And Norway, one of the coolest ones that, I mean, Sweden, I'm sorry you don't have, but Norway has, and that is the fjords. These things are just so beautiful. I don't even need to talk about them, guys. These are so famous that people come all over the world just to go check out these fjords. They go on, like, you know, cruises down them, get photos and all that stuff. Oh, they're just so beautiful. I mean, I've always wanted to take a camera and just shoot those fjords. Moving right along, let's talk about sports. Okay, so
I love the way he's explaining all this. Okay, that the last part we just watched, that view is given. That view is amazing. Like it's just it's breathtaking. Okay, I think I've seen it in a couple of movies. Okay, watching it in a movie now, watching it now is just so mind blowing. I'm literally enjoying this. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about what he said about the church and the government still working hand in hand. I know right now that the population is already more than this particular number, so yeah, I know right now that the population is more than this particular number. I hope you are enjoying the video. If you're from Norway or you're from Sweden, you can do well to highlight me more about your country, and yeah, I would really appreciate that. So let's keep on watching.
So winter sports are both really popular in the country, but there is a little bit of a difference. For example, bandy, which is the second biggest winter sport in the world, is huge in Norway. Of course, bandy is part of the hockey family, but in Sweden, for their big winter sport, it is hockey. They love hockey there. And on top of that, the countries both like winter skiing and among other winter sports. And let's not forget some summer sports like football, which they're both just crazy for. It's nuts. So jumping back to culture for a sec, one major thing that's different between the people of Norway and the people of Sweden is smoking. Because in the country of Norway, believe it or not, more people smoke there than they do in Sweden. That being said, for official numbers and statistics, I can't give you an actual date. I did read somewhere that they said that 31% of adults do smoke in Norway. I think it was in 2010, but the writing wasn't 100%, let's just say. And of course, for these smokers, I'm talking about daily smokers. I'm not talking about the ones who, have one with a drink from time to time. With that being said, in 2016, it was recorded that on an average, there was approximately 8.8% of people who were classified as daily smokers. Oddly enough, and I found this one weird, that women make a higher percentage than men of that percentage. I was like, what? Really? Women smoke more? Now, that doesn't actually mean that people in Norway are consuming more tobacco. Not necessarily, because in Sweden, although people are smoking less, it's been recorded that they have a high amount of people who are partaking in what is known as snus. I think it's called snus or snus or something, S-N-U-S. Basically, this is like a powdered-like tobacco that you kind of put in your mouth. It's not like spitting or chewing tobacco where you gotta spit it out. This stuff actually kind of dissolves and I think evaporates. For me, I'm not totally shocked by this number because of two major factors, and that is snus originated in Sweden back in the 18th century, and on top of that, it is the only European country, Sweden that is, that allows people to consume snus. However, that being said, because people are actually smoking cigarettes less, Sweden managed to acquire the World Health Organization goal to have 20% or less of its population smoking by the year 2000. Also, just an FYI, snus in Sweden is also regulated by the Sweden Food Act, so it is quite an official thing that you can consume there. Also, in both countries, you cannot smoke until you're 18, and also in bars, you can't smoke, and some public places, especially where there's children around, you're not allowed to smoke. Also, if we're going to talk about smoking, we might as well move on to alcohol laws because they're a little bit different as well. In both countries, you do have to be 18 years old to buy alcohol. However, in Norway, you got to be 20 years or older to buy spirits or hard liquor that has a percentage of 22% or higher. Also, in Norway, a lot of nightclubs frown upon having anybody under the age of 20 or 21 in them. Sweden, it's very similar, 20. However, it's a little more socially acceptable to be 18 and go into a bar. Nightclubs are still a little bit like, they want older people. So that is kind of the list that I've got, but before I get out of here, one major difference that I want to talk about between these two countries, well, Norway's going to be a little bit higher on this one. So for Sweden, it might have the most southern town, with maybe a little bit warmer climate, in which, for your information, the most southern town in all of Sweden is a small fishing village by the name of Smidshuk. Norway, however, has the most northern settlement that is connected via a major road network, and this is the town known as Skvarsvag. On a side note, in Svalbard, the country also has the most northern town ever. And this is the town of Ny-Ålesund, which has about 65 people within it. Also in the region of Svalbard, you can't forget that it has one really interesting, fascinating thing within it. And that it is home to the Global
65.
Seed Vault, which holds a collection of seeds from all the plants on Earth, and is meant to preserve life in case of a global catastrophe. So there you have it, guys. That is me looking at the differences between Norway and Sweden. What are your thoughts on this? Did you guys like this video? Are there any things that I forgot? Because a lot of you guys are probably from those countries, and you're like, hey man, yo, there's some other cultural differences or just governmental differences. So be sure to leave them down there in the comment section below. Also, for all you crazy Vikings out there, go down there in the description box below and play Viking War of Clans. It's going to be an awesome time. You're going to have a great time. Head down there in the description box below. And before you guys get out of here, be sure to hit this card right here because I got a playlist on Norway and a playlist on Sweden. I'm also going to put it at the end of the video and in the description box, so be sure to check it out. Other than that, I'm Dave Wapple and I'm getting out of here. Not kidding, guys.
That's quite interesting. I literally enjoyed this video. It's very, very educational, and I've learned few things about Sweden. I never knew that you have to be 20 years old before you go and buy alcohol, like a particular kind of spirit. Now I know. Okay, so this is pretty interesting to watch. I love everything he said. If you don't agree with this, you can do well to write more about it in the comment section. I'll do it to reply and read it here as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment. And I will see you all my darlings in my next one. Bye, guys.